Azerite Weathers III is the culmination of nearly 10 years of weather modding experience, a complete reconstruction of how Skyrim's atmosphere and lighting behave. It's technically a weather mod, but in practice, it functions as a full lighting overhaul, rewriting how illumination, color, and depth interact across every region in the game. The effect is striking from the moment you load in. Light scatters naturally through fog and humidity, diffusing across distance instead of glowing flatly in the air. Shadows keep their shape, ambient tones shift with altitude, and the world finally feels like it breathes. HDR tone mapping prevents overexposure, while new volumetric settings make the landscape read like a real photograph, balanced, grounded, and alive. What sets Azurite apart is how it handles light refraction and diffusion. The atmosphere feels thicker, almost tangible, as sunlight bends through moisture and dust. Skies blend seamlessly into the horizon, and every weather transition looks deliberate, not abrupt. But the real trick is what you don't see. Skyrim has a hard visual cutoff at about 350,000 units, a point where the world just stops rendering. Azurite hides that seam completely through careful fog layering, matching the hue and density of the atmosphere so perfectly that the edge of the world just dissolves into light. It's subtle, technical sorcery that turns Skyrim's limited render distance into a believable, infinite horizon. Even the 4K star textures add quiet realism to the night, where contrast and color finally look right. Azurite doesn't just change the weather, it redefines how Skyrim understands light. Every sunrise, every storm, every horizon feels hand-tuned to realism, making the world feel brand new again.
Stay out of trouble.
Weathers of World bridges a gap most players never think about. The disconnect between Skyrim's living, breathing world and its static, lifeless map. Normally, the map runs on a completely different rendering setup, untouched by ENBs or weather mods, which means no matter what's happening below, the sky above your map stays frozen in time. This mod changes that entirely. It rebuilds the world map's weather and lighting logic, so that what you see on the map now mirrors what's happening in the game. When the sun begins to set, the mountains glow in the same golden light that paints the world around you. Even subtle color shifts, morning haze, deep twilight, or the cold blue of snowfall appear naturally across the terrain. It's a quiet but powerful form of immersion. The map no longer feels like a disconnected overview. It feels like an extension of the same living world you're walking through. Every glance at it becomes a reminder that Skyrim, in all its scale, is still one seamless place. Windhelm by Clevercharrf. Windhelm has always been Skyrim's oldest city, a place of stone, frost, and history. But Clevercharrf's retexture finally makes it feel that way. Every wall, street, and roof tile has been rebuilt in crisp, high-resolution detail, bringing out the city's rugged personality without losing its identity. The cold stone walls now look hand-carved and ancient, their cracks filled with frost that catches the light in subtle ways. Wooden beams feel heavy with age, and the streets themselves carry a worn, lived-in texture that sells the weight of centuries. Inside, the same treatment applies. From the longhouse halls to the market interiors, everything feels unified and tangible. What's special about Clevercharrf's approach is restraint. The city looks dramatically better, yet never stylized or out of place. It still feels like Windhelm, harsh, cold, but majestic in its defiance. And when combined with his other retextures across Skyrim, from Whiterun and Solitude to Riften and Markarth, the entire province gains visual continuity. It's no longer a patchwork of styles, but a cohesive world built by one artistic hand. Windhelm finally looks like the capital of ancient Skyrim should, weathered, proud, and undeniably alive. SkyTone, Alchemy, and Enchanting Tables. SkyTone reimagines Skyrim's crafting tables with a striking fantasy flair. Part of the Divergent series, this retexture leans into color and contrast rather than realism. The glowing runes, etched metal, and deep shadows give every alchemy or enchanting table a kind of arcane intensity. It's the sort of mod that catches your eye, even when you're just passing by. The glow feels alive, pulsing softly, as if the tables themselves hold power waiting to be tapped. Unlike many texture replacers that chase photorealism, SkyTone commits to atmosphere, darker tones, richer saturation, and an intentional fantasy mood that sets it apart. Each surface is a 4K upscale of Skyrim's originals, cleaned and recolored with care. The result still feels vanilla plus, but unmistakably more magical. It's a small touch, yet it transforms your crafting spaces into something worthy of a true mage or alchemist. Not just a workbench, but a ritual space glowing with potential. Lighting Overhaul Mod Pack. Lighting is one of the biggest foundations of Skyrim's atmosphere, and this collection of mods completely rebuilds it from the ground up. Working together in a specific order, they modernize how light behaves, interacts, and breathes life into every interior and landscape without straying from the game's original artistic direction. We begin with Luminosity Lighting Overhaul, a mod that reshapes interior lighting using an LFX-inspired palette, while keeping Bethesda's natural signposting intact. It doesn't move or add new bulbs. Instead, it rebalances how existing light bounces and fills a space. Dungeons aren't pitch black, but they finally feel grounded, illuminated just enough to guide you naturally through the dark. Next comes Unofficial Skyrim is Luminous, USEP patch, which forwards essential changes to ensure perfect compatibility between the unofficial patch and the lighting system. It's an invisible but crucial layer that keeps everything working as one cohesive whole. No flickering, no mismatched light data, no conflicts. Then Luminosity Lighting Cathedral Project ties everything into the cathedral concept, ensuring that cell and template lighting behave consistently across every environment. It maintains color balance, natural transitions, and interior ambience, all without breaking performance or compatibility with other mods. After that, standard lighting templates takes over, eliminating ambient fog, making transitions smooth, and ensuring lighting feels uniform from room to room. It's what gives interiors their soft, realistic darkness without losing visibility, an unglamorous but essential fix that holds the entire visual overhaul together. Then comes Skyrim is Luminous by Dr. Jacopo, which adds roughly 2,000 additional light sources across Skyrim's interiors and exteriors. Fires, candles, and sconces that now truly emit light. Unlike other overhauls that delete vanilla lighting, it enhances what's already there, preserving the developer's artistic intent while filling in forgotten shadows. The result is vibrant, natural illumination that feels handcrafted rather than mechanical. Finally, Relighting Skyrim SE acts as the precision pass, repositioning invisible light sources to where they should have been all along. Light now radiates directly from candles, fires, and windows, reacting dynamically to weather and time of day. It corrects Skyrim's foundational lighting logic while staying true to its style, creating natural shadows and believable ambience. Together, these mods turn Skyrim's lighting into a living system. Interiors feel intimate, landscapes cinematic, and the world finally looks the way it always should have. Not brighter, just right. KS Hairdos Lite brings customization back to consoles in a big way. This curated version includes 20 male and 20 female hairstyles, hand-picked for quality, variety, and performance. You can use them at character creation, visit the Riften face sculptor, or apply them through a race menu spell mod. The variety here makes a surprising difference. Skyrim's base hairstyles are serviceable, but this set injects new life into every character, from rugged adventurers to refined nobles. Strands fall naturally, braids have depth, and motion feels more organic even in conversation. Because it's a light version, you get all the visual quality without the heavy performance cost of the full KS Hairdos pack. It's one of those subtle improvements you end up noticing constantly. Every NPC, follower, and custom character looks just that little bit more alive. For anyone who cares about roleplay and character identity, it's a must-have. What makes KS Hairdos Lite especially great on PS5 is how seamlessly it integrates into the vanilla character creator. There's no extra setup or complicated menus. The styles simply appear as part of the base game's options, keeping the experience clean and intuitive. Every style is tested and balanced for console performance, so even heavily modded setups run smooth. The collection itself is versatile, from windswept cuts that look perfect on battle-worn adventurers to elegant updos that suit scholars or nobles. The detail in the hair textures holds up well under different lighting mods, catching glints from candles and moonlight without looking artificial. It's not a flashy mod, but it's a powerful one, the kind that quietly raises Skyrim's baseline quality. When your character creation screen looks this good, it sets the tone for the entire playthrough. Each style also demonstrates a strong understanding of how Skyrim's engine handles alpha transparency and specular highlights, meaning you won't see that odd flat shine effect some other hair mods suffer from. Under dynamic lighting setups like Luminosity or Azerite Weathers, the hair absorbs light realistically, with subtle reflections that mimic natural texture rather than plastic gloss. The true strength of this mod lies in its restraint. It doesn't try to overwhelm Skyrim's aesthetic with overly modern or glossy designs. Everything still feels grounded in the world's medieval fantasy tone. Even the most stylized cuts somehow blend into Skyrim's colder palette and rugged environments. It's fantasy, but believable fantasy. And if you've ever used the full KS Hairdos pack on PC, this version feels like a greatest hits collection, the most iconic, reliable styles, refined for console stability. No frame drops, no load time hiccups, just clean integration. It's the kind of mod that makes the game's creation screen feel like it belongs in a modern remaster. Lush Dragonsreach Pools transforms the upper district of Whiterun into something unexpectedly tranquil. The pools outside Dragonsreach, once static and bare, now bloom with reeds, lilies, and vibrant plant life that shimmer in the water's reflection. It's not a massive overhaul, but it's the kind of addition that completely changes the feel of the space. The greenery softens the stone-heavy architecture, the reflections dance under sunlight, and the whole area feels more lived in, as if the Jarl's Court wanted to bring a bit of nature into their stronghold. Depending on your texture setup, the plants may look slightly different, but that's part of the charm. It blends with your mod list, adapting to your visual style. It's peaceful, immersive, and surprisingly calming every time you pass through. There's also a subtle harmony in how it interacts with other visual mods. Lighting overhauls like Luminosity or Azurite Weathers enhance the water's glow, while texture mods bring out detail in every ripple. The result is a small space that feels painterly, almost reflective of the calm before the chaos of battle or politics inside the palace. It's one of those quiet mods that you don't think about until it's gone. And once you've seen the upper pools alive with color and movement, it's hard to go back to the empty basins of vanilla Whiterun. Bears of the North completely overhauls one of Skyrim's most iconic creatures. Each bear, brown, snow, and cave, has been rebuilt from the ground up with new models and realistic fur created using shell texturing, a technique used in games like Red Dead Redemption 2. The difference is immediately clear. These bears look alive. Fur ripples under light, muscles shift when they move, and their sheer size makes them genuinely intimidating. They're no longer reskinned wolves, they're apex predators, massive and commanding respect. Even the trophies on walls and loading screens have been updated to match the new models, keeping visual consistency throughout. It's a beautiful example of how detail and respect for realism can elevate Skyrim's wilderness without breaking its tone. The next time one charges you in the wild, you'll feel that primal panic all over again. There's something kind of timeless about Skyrim. No matter how old it gets, people just keep finding ways to make it feel new again. Every mod, no matter how small, adds a piece to that puzzle. A little refinement, a new idea, a touch of soul that turns a familiar world into something worth getting lost in again. That's really what keeps this community alive. It's not just about making the game look better. It's about giving it new meaning every time we load in. Maybe it's the way the light catches the mist in the marshes, or how the snow looks different under a new weather system. Maybe it's a new sound, a retextured stone wall, or a quiet pond that suddenly feels alive. It's all of it together. Creativity layered over legacy. And now, with Sony officially opening the door to external assets and larger file sizes on consoles, that creativity's about to explode. For years, console modders had to work within hard limits. Now, those limits are starting to fall away. More complex quests, custom textures, new systems, new sounds. Things that were once only possible on PC are finally coming to PlayStation. It's the start of something huge, maybe the most important shift in Skyrim's console modding history. So whether you're overhauling lighting, chasing storms through the tundra, or just fine-tuning your character's look, every change you make adds something to this decade-old masterpiece. You're not just playing Skyrim, you're helping rebuild it, one mod at a time. If you enjoyed the video or found a few mods you're excited to try, make sure to hit that like button. It helps more than you think. Subscribe if you want to see more showcases like this, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next. And hey, if you know someone building their own load order, share this with them. Spread the word, keep the community growing. Thanks for watching, and seriously, thank you for being part of this. I've got plenty more showcases already lined up, so I'll see you in the next one.